G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, on to the next part of the project to mount this HILDA 400 watt grinder or rotary tool into a mount so that I can use it on the lathe as a tool post grinder. I think it should be pretty good if everything turns out to plan, and I'm just making a bigger version of the mount that I use for my air pencil die grinder. So if you want to see the lead up to this, we'll just go back to the previous video. I'm not going to repeat myself. So let's get on with the project. And yeah, I mean, I've got to say it's been so hot in Adelaide lately. It's been brutal, absolutely brutal. You know, well over 40 every day. It just wears you down. Today it's a beautiful 25 degrees C in the shed. I reckon that's the perfect working temperature in the workshop. It's just magnificent. I just feel so much better. Okay, let's get on with it. As you would have seen in the previous video, I'm using the fly cutter in the lathe to mill back the sections of metal we don't need when we make up the holder, and I use the mill totally on one side, the fly cutter I meant to say. A few people suggested, you know, why didn't you just cut it out with the bandsaw and then finish off with a mill, which is a fair comment, and I did consider that, but I wanted to get the first side set up dead accurately, so that gives me a face to work against. I probably could have done it with a bit of juggling around, using the bandsaw and then milling, but anyway, that's what I did. So this time I've cut it out with the bandsaw as suggested, and it saves a lot of time because, you know, and less wear and tear, I suppose. So now I've got this mounted, and we just have to, using the back of this first milling job as the reference, I haven't touched the tool post angle, so it should tram correctly against the cutter, and now it's just a matter of mill back to the line and keep milling until I get it to 18 mil total thickness, so it will go into the four-way in the vertical position. You know, we're 90 degrees out of sync here, and yeah, so that's the next thing, just finish off this milling side of things, and then once we've done that, well, then we can mount the holder in the tool post, and then we can do our centre hole that takes the tool. It's a pretty simple project really. It's just a matter of just go along steadily, take your time, don't make mistakes. I mean, you know, don't make mistakes. How many times have I heard that said? And yep, okay, we won't go down there. So let's get on with it. So let's mic it up and just see how accurate this job turned out on this simple setup. .928, 17.911. Not bad. I mean, that's pretty good, quite acceptable. And, you know, for something as simple as that setup, well, Yeah, that's all you want. Okay, we'll get on now and do the centre hole. Right, now the next step's important. Remount your tool, your drill, back into the chuck. Take all your bolts out of your four-way. Get your piece of milled steel. Now you can see here's mine. You can see I milled it a bit one way. My initial measurements, I just changed them slightly. Now what you have to do is make sure everything is okay as far as metal thickness. So put it in like so. And get a steel ruler and run it across top and bottom to make sure you've got sufficient metal thickness to grip the thing all the way around. If I put it in the other way around, like this, there's plenty on the bottom. There's not enough on the top, it comes in too close. Okay, so it's got to go this way around. So make sure you do that. Now once you've got this set up, then you can take the drill out of the collet, flip this around, bring it in this side, and then we can mark the centre and feel confident that we've got it in the right spot. All you have to do before you do that is measure or mark on the cross slide here, so you know that the centre point on the collet will line up with the clearance you want to have on the unit, on the actual tool itself. So mark your cross slide, bring it back, take your tool out, put this back in, and then mark your centre on this prior to opening out the centre. We're nearly there. Right, now that we've got it, that we know where to centre it, we now check that everything is right on both planes, and then we're ready to mark and to drill. So we wind it into the distance that we know it should be. In this case it's 2 3/4 inches. Right. Now we're ready to drive it into a drill to mark the centre point. So now we can start drilling and boring. We can take it out of the tool post and mount it in the forejaw and be certain that we can line it up on centre dead easy. Right, now I could have drilled right through when I did that drilling, but I didn't. That's why I squared it up, just in case somebody wanted to do that, but I decided not to do that. But I will check to make sure that I have got sufficient metal, that is the centre point and the right point. So I measure the diameter of the mounting point on the hildur, which is 36.2 or 3. Halve it, get some dividers, and then just run them around to make sure that you do have enough metal all the way around to do the job, which I do have. It's a pretty snug fit. I haven't sort of wasted any metal, but it will be okay, that will do the job. So now you know you're right, you can take this out and put this in the forejaw and drill it out, bore it out, and yeah, we're getting there. Alright, we're ready to bore out the centre. Now, first thing is Don't spin this too fast because you're going to be out of balance on this job. Make sure that you don't crash into the carriage. That's why a carriage stop is a fantastic idea. You can forget about chasing digital readouts. You've got this here. It will stop you accidentally driving into the face of your carriage when you're watching the job. This can happen very easily. A carriage stop takes all that pain away. Yeah, so we've checked it's vertical as far as run out on the two planes. So now we're ready to do the job. As you can see, everything comes in nice, and without that carriage stop you could easily crash that leading edge of the carriage. Okay, let's do it. Once again, the old toilet paper trick to stop all the crap going up in the centre of your chuck. We'll keep most of it out. Stuff some toilet paper into the throat of the chuck, and that will save a lot of cleanup afterwards. If the boring bar was to snag on it, it won't matter. It will just rip it to pieces, not like a piece of rag, which would be a disaster. So yeah, the old toilet paper is handy stuff in the workshop. Now we'll use the boring bar to open out the hole. This is the little Banggood set that I got on appraisal a while back. It's a really good set. Great little boring bar set. So go back and check that video out. Carbide. And we'll spin this at about 465. It's just about as fast as we can go with the imbalance. But the lathe's not shaking, so that's not too bad. So off we go. I'm just spitting on medium feed. Whenever possible, I try to keep the crap from flying all over the workshop. I just use a bit of old cardboard, bring it up, and you can run your lathe and it keeps all the shit where it should go in the tray. You see she's done a lot of work. Yeah, it's a simple little trick. And also, once again, doing this sort of work, you can see that the carriage stop, once again, not only does it stop you crashing the carriage, you see how close that's coming, but also it shows you how much boring bar you have to have extended to do the job, all right? So you don't have any more boring bar coming out than you need to. This is doing the job fine. I mean, this lathe very rarely chatters. It's very good on chatter. But even so, even with that length, which is just moderate by my estimation, it's doing the job perfectly okay. But yeah, good little tip that. Works well. And of course, a bit of plastic in here shoved in there to stop the crap going down and get on your cross-slide screw as well, which, I mean, once again, it's well worn. You can still wind it backwards and forwards because there's that little gap. So it keeps everything in good shape, and yeah, your lathe will last a very long time. Rightio, well we're there. Let's try it. How's that, eh? Cool bananas. I came in pretty close on this. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. That's exactly the sort of thickness I wanted, but it's cut it a bit finer than I would normally do it. That's pushing your luck. The bottom's good. That's good thickness. And the top is enough for flex, but will still hold it quite well. So that was spot on, but yeah, that's a little bit finer than I would normally do that. I normally machine it and then just mill it back to the thickness I want. Anyway, it worked out good. So I think it's time for lunch.